Nobody expected this. Not the fans, not the commentators, and maybe not even Oleksandr Usyk himself, because what was supposed to be another dominant performance quickly turned into a brutal heavyweight war. Round after round, Rico Verhoeven kept walking forward, pressuring, hurting, refusing to break, and suddenly, the undefeated champion looked human again. Under the lights of the Pyramids, one of the greatest upsets in combat sports history almost became reality, until everything changed with 1 second left. Round 1, from the opening seconds of the fight, something felt unusual, not chaotic, not reckless, just different. Rico Verhoeven walked straight into the center of the ring and forced Oleksandr Usyk backward almost immediately. No hesitation, no respect-driven caution. That shocked the audience more than any punch could. Usually, opponents spend early rounds trying to survive Usyk's movement and timing. Rico did the opposite. He pressured patiently behind the jab and used his size to close distance every few seconds. Under the lights near the Pyramids, the weight difference looked enormous. Every clinch felt heavy. Every exchange forced Usyk to reset position. Usyk stayed calm, constantly circling and reading reactions like he always does. But this was not the comfortable opening round fans expected. Rico wasn't there for a spectacle. He came to compete. Round 2. Round 2 changed the atmosphere completely. Instead of slowing down, Rico increased the pressure. He started attacking the body whenever Usyk moved toward the ropes, forcing physical exchanges that disrupted the champion's rhythm. The crowd reacted loudly every single time Rico trapped him near the corners. And suddenly, uncertainty appeared inside the arena. Usyk still looked technically superior. His footwork remained sharp, his counters precise. But Rico controlled territory. He forced Usyk to move constantly instead of comfortably dictating pace. Midway through the round, Rico landed a hard right to the body that visibly pushed Usyk backward. Not enough to hurt him, but enough to change the energy. Usyk answered late with a clean counter left hand that snapped Rico's head slightly. Most opponents become hesitant after shots like that. Rico kept walking forward anyway. And that was the moment people realized this fight might become dangerous. Round 3. By the third round, Usyk began adapting. The movement became tighter, smaller pivots, faster exits, cleaner counters. He stopped circling endlessly and instead started punishing Rico every time he entered too aggressively. This is where Usyk's experience started appearing. He baited pressure with feints, then fired sharp left hands directly through the middle before escaping angles. Rico was still controlling pace physically, but now he was paying for mistakes. A beautiful counter combination landed midway through the round and finally forced Rico to pause briefly. The crowd exploded instantly, but even then, Rico never stopped applying pressure. That made the fight exhausting for Usyk. Every clinch drained energy. Every exchange required movement. Rico wasn't winning clean technically, but he was forcing Usyk into a harder fight than anyone predicted. Round 4. Round 4 was where the mood inside the arena truly shifted. Rico Verhoeven no longer looked like an underdog trying to survive. He looked confident, dangerous. Every successful exchange gave him more momentum. He kept walking Usyk toward the ropes and forcing ugly physical moments inside. Meanwhile, Usyk remained composed, but noticeably more focused now. Less relaxed movement, more urgency in the counters. Midway through the round, Rico landed a heavy body shot during a close-range exchange that forced Usyk to immediately reposition. The commentators reacted loudly. Suddenly, this was no longer a crossover attraction. This had become a legitimate heavyweight battle. Usyk still landed the cleaner punches overall, but Rico's pressure and size were changing the rhythm of the fight in ways very few heavyweights ever managed to do. Round 5 became brutally physical. Rico leaned on Usyk constantly during clinches and forced exhausting exchanges near the ropes. Every second felt uncomfortable. And for the first time in a long time, Usyk looked frustrated inside the ring. Not hurt, but pressured. Forced into a style of fight he clearly didn't want. Rico absorbed several clean counters during the round, yet refused to back away. That persistence became psychologically important. Most opponents mentally break once Usyk starts timing them. Rico kept advancing. Late in the round, both men exchanged hard combinations near center ring while the crowd erupted around them. Sweat flying under the lights, commentators shouting over the noise. And suddenly, the undefeated champion no longer looked fully comfortable controlling the fight. Round 6 championship-level adjustments changed the fight in round 6. Usyk stopped reacting emotionally to Rico's pressure and began controlling range far more efficiently. Tiny pivots, shoulder feints, quick counters. The details started adding up. Rico still moved forward, but he was missing more often now, and every missed attack cost energy. Usyk's confidence slowly returned. He began planting his feet longer during exchanges before escaping at perfect angles. Midway through the round, Usyk landed one of his cleanest combinations of the fight. Straight left, short hook, pivot out. Rico stumbled slightly backward. For the first time all night, the crowd exploded entirely for Usyk. Momentum was beginning to shift. By round 7, Usyk looked like himself again. The movement became smoother, the timing sharper. Rico was still dangerous, but now he was chasing rather than controlling. Usyk started using angles beautifully, stepping outside Rico's lead foot before landing fast combinations and disappearing before counters arrived. It looked effortless, but beneath that elegance was brutal calculation. Rico had spent 6 rounds trying to physically wear Usyk down. Now Usyk was slowly breaking him mentally. Every failed pressure sequence created frustration. Every missed punch drained energy. Still, Rico refused to collapse. Even exhausted, he kept moving forward. Late in the round, Usyk landed multiple clean left hands in succession that visibly slowed Rico's reactions. And suddenly, the champion looked fully back in control. Round 8. Round 8 became a battle of endurance. The pace of the fight had drained both fighters physically. Rico's pressure slowed slightly. Usyk's movement became less explosive. But the tension inside the arena somehow felt even heavier now, because every exchange looked dangerous. Rico still carried fight-changing power, and Usyk knew one mistake could alter everything instantly. That's why he fought carefully despite building momentum. No reckless attacks, no emotional exchanges, just discipline. Midway through the round, Rico trapped Usyk near the ropes again and landed a short combination that brought the crowd to life. But seconds later, Usyk answered with a beautiful counter left while pivoting away from danger. The contrast between them became fascinating. Rico relied on pressure and physicality. Usyk relied on precision and timing. After 8 brutal rounds, neither style had broken completely. Round 9. Round 9 introduced something new, pressure outside the ring, because people started talking about the scorecards. Rico refused to disappear from the fight. Even exhausted, he continued forcing exchanges and walking forward aggressively. Usyk still landed cleaner punches, but Rico controlled many of the physical moments. One furious exchange near the ropes forced both men into a violent clinch while the crowd screamed around them. The atmosphere became tense. This was no longer entertainment. There was genuine uncertainty now. Some people inside the arena believed the fight was close. Others believed Rico might actually be ahead. and you could see urgency starting to appear in Usyk's body language. The champion understood the danger. Round 10 by round 10. Usyk increased the intensity dramatically. The combinations became faster, more aggressive. He stopped simply controlling distance and began actively forcing exchanges himself. Rico looked exhausted now, but still dangerous. Every time Usyk attacked, Rico answered with heavy counters and brutal clinch work. The pace became chaotic, and that chaos made the fight unforgettable. Usyk landed several clean combinations during the second half of the round, snapping Rico's head back repeatedly. But Rico survived everything, kept walking forward, kept refusing to mentally break. Meanwhile, pressure around the scorecards continued growing. Usyk clearly understood he needed something decisive before the final rounds. Round 11? Then came round 11, the moment that changed the entire fight forever. Both fighters looked exhausted under the Egyptian night sky, sweat pouring, heavy breathing, slower movement. But the tension inside the arena felt unbearable. Rico was still dangerous. Usyk was still searching for the finishing moment. Then, finally, it happened. A perfectly timed uppercut exploded through Rico's guard. Rico crashed to the canvas instantly. The arena erupted, commentators screaming, cameras flashing, fans standing everywhere. Rico managed to get back up, but Usyk attacked immediately with a furious combination near the ropes. And with literally 1 second left in the round, the referee stopped the fight. Instantly, controversy exploded online. Some believed the stoppage saved Rico from serious damage. Others believed he deserved to survive until the bell. But officially, Oleksandr Usyk escaped the toughest night of his heavyweight reign with an 11th round TKO victory.